Susan. Hi, Holly. I see you're already in here. Thank you for supporting. If you are watching the replay, make sure that you fast forward through the first few minutes if you don't want to hear me chit chat, and do all the things like share, subscribe, follow, whatever platform you're on. Thank you so much. And we're just going to give it a couple of minutes for some more people to file in, and then we're going to start with today's message. So yeah, it's been an interesting past several days. How's everybody else doing? Comment if you're watching the replay. Holly will be joining us from YouTube today. She's on the golf course today, riding in the golf cart, having fun, enjoying it, her time outside and soaking up the sun. So enjoy yourself, Holly. I love you so much, and I hope you have the most beautiful day. And if Susan gets in here, then we'll all wish her a happy birthday too, because it's Susan's birthday today. So exciting stuff. Husband teamed up with the guy that was in front of us. I'm doing well. Awesome. I'm glad he has someone to play with, Holly. That's always, important. I don't know golf. My father's side of the family were golfers. My great grandpa golfed even whenever he nearly went completely blind from macular degeneration. He was still out on the course. Susan, hello, happy birthday, gorgeous. Holly's over on YouTube today because she's riding the golf cart at the golf course, but she said happy birthday. So we love you. All right. It's been an interesting several days, like I said just a minute ago, but you might not have been in here, Susan. Oh man, I finally got my car to run beautifully. It's been like having missing issues and been running rich, like you can smell the fuel, and it's been like that for a very long time. But I intuitively clocked the problem, and alongside some research, and I went ahead and replaced that part without waiting for my mechanic. But it worked beautifully, and I test drove it for like 30 minutes on the highway in town. It was running smoother than it ever has. And then a few hours later, after I parked it and was doing stuff around the house and relaxing and stuff, I went to leave to go to the grocery store, and my car stalled out on the way to the grocery store and would not stay on again. It would start, but then immediately die. So I did what I could on the side of the road. Wasn't working, so I called my mechanic friend. He came to check it out to try to swap out the old part or the new part for the old part again, and it worked worse. So he put the new part back on and then took me to the grocery store because we were running out of daylight, and then he trailered my car to his house. So my car is sitting at my mechanic's house right now. So I had a brief window where it worked wonderfully, and then boom, now it's struggling to stay on. So he's going to be fixing that for me. Hopefully we can get it done quickly, but one of those things. You're so welcome, Susan. We love you so much. All right, so we'll go ahead and start, and people can file in as they tend to do within the first few minutes, so no worries. This is going to be an interesting one. I also journeyed last night, took some mushies, and went on my own journey last night, which was very eye-opening. It was very eye-opening, and I had some more deep experiences, so that is definitely going to tie in. I know, Susan, it's a pain in the ass. Like, I keep fixing it, and it does great, and then something else, but it's a really old car. She's about 20 years old, so I get it. I'm good, replace parts until everything is completely fixed. Because when you fix one thing, then down the line, something else is not right. And yeah, so it's just a pain in the ass. I'm glad I'm not a mechanic, but even though I do my own work a lot of the time, not always, obviously, but Yeah. Thank you for sending my vehicle healing energies, Susan. She's coming along. She's just letting us know what's wrong so we can fix it completely and not have to worry about it anymore. So I am hopeful. This isn't a huge overhaul like I had to do like a year ago, which is really wonderful, but trying to pinpoint the issue is really a headache. So, you know, that happens also with us in our own daily lives, right? And that's going to tie into this a little bit too. And then I'll bring about some little parts of wisdom that I picked up from my journey last night, and I'll share those with you guys too. So, let's get started. Bottom of the deck, we have solitude, isolation, to go blah, 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 to go within for answers, silence and processing. Um, we've talked about this the last couple of weeks where we will be kind of made to go within, to not have a lot of people to support us, not have, it feels like you're alone. And that's not for a punishment and it's not for your detriment. It's actually a gift. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you, gorgeous. So, at times we need to take that step back. We need to go within. We need to really sit with ourselves, and paying attention to the themes in your everyday is really important. I've talked about this before, has been a while. But things that usually I will connect the dots to. So this wasn't really a surprise for me, but on my journey, last night I had snakes, and you guys probably remember my tattoo. She's my snake, my pit viper with her lipstick on. Um, Snakes, venomous snakes. Okay, feeling alone, Lori? Aw, sending you love, but it's definitely a gift for you to be able to sit and go within and really get to the bottom of some things. Um, so what kept repeating for me, hi Suzanne, love you. What kept repeating for me was the okay, so to put it into like everyday context, big pharma. None of us like them, right? But they, scientists, big pharma backed scientists most of the time, but they have uncovered that there are venomous species of snakes, frogs, spiders, all of these different animals, but also plant species that are very venomous and can harm you, can actually unalive you. But you can actually take those components and create, via alchemy, you can create a cure, right? They don't say cure. None of big pharma stuff really cures, but you get where I'm going with this, right? So the poison is the medicine. And my whole sleeve right here, I wore long sleeves today. It wasn't a good choice, but it's a little chilly out today. My whole tattoo sleeve right here has, yes, antidote. Thank you, Suzanne. The antidote. So, like, how do they produce anti-venom? They extract venom from venomous snakes to create the antidote for that for that venom. So it's anti-venom. Yes, Suzanne, thank you. Or Susan. I'm reading your comments and I'm seeing one's name that, yeah, they're too similar to be stacked on top of each other, but I know who you are. So the poison is the antidote, right? And sometimes we need to take little bits of that venom, and this plays out in our lives with our trauma and everything else. But we don't always see it in that light, right? We see it as, from the victimhood perspective, which is completely valid. We all do it. Okay, I feel victimized at times and I'll feel that way, and then I'll, sit with myself and kind of work through it, right? And then end up being grateful for the trials and tribulations that brought me to a higher perspective. So that's what this is, that's what this is all about with what's going on with our realm collectively. We've got very venomous snakes in the grass, right? We're all seeing it. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. And when they are trying to hide it, it's blatantly obvious that they're doing cover ups or they're trying to hide it. So the venom is present, yes, but we're also seeing the patterns. We're also being able to, because the venom is present, because the danger is present, now we're being able to really understand what's been going on this whole time. Um, so at times it is important for us to be alone with that venom and really try to metabolize it, really try to process what's happened to us and what's going on with us now, because that, you know, that venom kind of stays with us even whenever we move through the shadow work, even whenever we do the work, it's still a spiral, right? So some of that is still contained within your energetic field, and you spiral back around to readdress it, to readdress a different aspect of it, and then integrate that and continue to grow, continue to move on. And that integration is what brings us health, right? We're no longer traumatized and allowing that trauma to impact us in that way. We've now alchemized that. We've now made it our anti venom. So, with that solitude card, yes, it sucks feeling like you're the only one dealing with all of this, having to process this, or maybe you experience, you know, one thing after the next, like, you know, all the sayings that they have constructed now have for many, many years. But we are here on this plane to experience great difficulty, but also great growth. That's why this place is so difficult. So if you feel lately like you're coming back around to something that you thought you healed, or maybe you didn't realize there was something going on in the background in that subconscious that's impacting you now. You may not see the correlation because it's not always blatantly obvious. So that's why we are kind of pushed into these periods of solitude, of feeling like we're alone, feeling unsupported. Maybe everyone else is busy with their own lives. Maybe they've got their own stuff going on. And, you know, even though we can be understanding to people not being able to be there for us, it still kind of hurts. It still kind of rubs salt in those old wounds, right? Abandonment wounds, lack of support, all of those things. So, hey, Matt. Hey, Steph. Yes, everybody, now that a lot more people are here, let's wish Susan a very, very happy birthday. We did that in the beginning, but y'all were fashionably late. We're not holding it against you. Sorry, nose is running. Water has been present. Um, can't stay when I wanted to stop in and say hi. Wish Susan a happy birthday again. Awesome, Steph. We love you. Um, so back to the synchronicities. Those of you who have recently just come in, I was talking about my mushroom journey that I went on last night, and we're going to be kind of bringing some of that to kind of tie today all together. So um, go within. You're not in isolation as a punishment. It's actually a gift. It is offering you an opportunity to gain that deeper perspective. Okay. Watch out for the synchronicities. And I did start talking about this. So on my journey, the visuals that I was getting, there was the snake, like the one that I have on my arm. Beautiful colors, by the way, not the same one. Um, Eden passed her police cadet final exam with the highest marks. Nice. Congratulations to Eden. Let her know. Entire class passed and they all got to go through being pepper sprayed. Oh, going through having to take down the perp, blind and sick. Oh my goodness. Good job, Eden. Um, spiders. Another thing, spiders. There was one in my bathtub the other day, and then there was one in my kitchen sink, and I'm like, well, what is going on here? And then I started getting visuals of spiders going on my journey, and they very much tied into everything. With the spiders that were in my house were non-venomous, but the theme. Uh, we don't really have very many venomous spiders here where I'm at, so you gotta work with what you got here. But that tied in, and also 8 is all about abundance, infinity, right? The infinite, um, and there is no end to your soul, just the infinite being that is you. Okay, so start paying attention to the synchronicities in your day to day, even if it's a spider that you see, different places in your house on different days. And these were 2 different spiders for me, but you could have one spider in your house. I don't know. I welcome spiders because they pay rent by pest control. But, something as seemingly just innocuous as that can really have great significance for you, because you are the universe, right? So whatever themes that are running in your life directly correlate to what's happening within you. As within, so without. So pay attention to the synchronicities. Really go within and assess all of the things that you've been seeing. Write it down in a journal, put it in your phone as a note. But start becoming more aware of the themes that are running through your day to day, because all of it has something to do with what's going on within you. Okay. So pay attention to the synchronicities. There are signs all around you. You are always supported. You are never being punished. You are being given the opportunity to see from a broader perspective. Okay. The Emperor is on the bottom of the deck. The Emperor, this is taking charge. This is Aries energy. I know we're out of Aries season now, we're into Taurus season, but this is the planner, the strategist, um, he's the culmination of all of the kings in the deck. Very well balanced, unless you get him on an off day when he's in the reverse, right? He can be manipulative and controlling in those ways, but he's in the upright today. So this is balancing all of those masculine aspects of yourself. And when we're working on balance in one aspect of our lives, it very much can bring up, this is where it ties to my car, very much can bring up other things that are kind of wonky. The energy is off in other areas, or something that's correlated to what you are working on. Like if you are balancing your masculine energy, you actually may have, some feminine stuff that comes up. Queen of Cups in the reverse. This could cause you to go more into your feelings, or bring up some really, emotional stuff, deep emotional trauma. Yes, I love it, Suzanne. Signs are everywhere. I see them daily. Girl, I'm always paying attention to the signs. So I definitely feel that one. So when you are balancing out one aspect of your life, say with your masculine energy, then it can cause a wobble within your feminine. This can cause things to surface with the feminine that might not have been so apparent, because you're, operating mostly out of the feminine, or you're trying to kind of suppress that and continue to blaze that trail with the masculine energy. So your feminine is going to start speaking out, with your emotions, your traumas, maybe even like your perspective, your psychic gifts, things like that. Hello, Dallas. Saw a sign that says sign. Can you get a signier sign than that? I don't know. That's awesome. I love it, Suzanne. So as you're balancing that masculine, go for it energy, the strategist, the one that's trying to kind of keep it all together and continue to move forward, always, being mindful of whether it's worth your energy or not. Very much, feeling in line with your masculine energy, acting on ideas and opportunities whenever they feel right for you, right? But then that feminine can come in and be like, we're a bit emotional today because do you remember what happened to us 37 years ago on that day where we felt so desperately alone? That's kind of really bothering me now. Now, that's going to throw a wrench in the gear with your masculine not being able to take action because now your feminine is kind of wobbling and you can't really, bring them together in a cohesive way at the moment to move forward. Hi, Katie. Oh, no worries, love. Enjoy your holiday. Aw, fun. I love it. Everyone's getting out and doing stuff now that it's springtime. I love it. Enjoy yourself. We love you so much. So it's, one of those things, and that's where it feels like something is constantly going wrong. I fixed these problems, and now everything's moving forward at a great pace, just like my car. Okay. I'm a little salty about it still. I'm still processing that. But it's directly tied to today's message, so I get it. But you can fix one thing and get things running really smoothly, and you're like, ah, hooray, everything's going forward. I love this. The momentum is now moving forward. And then all of a sudden it's like, I don't feel like doing it because now there's something else wrong. And it can be frustrating. It can be so maddening. But if you take it as the opportunity that it truly is, you can work with that energy much easier, get to the bottom of things much quicker, rebalance what kind of threw out those I'm not okay signals so that you can bring things together in a cohesive manner so that you can move forward in a balanced way so that you don't have everything else popping off left and right. So when you are finally feeling that you can really move forward and all of a sudden there's a wrench thrown in the gears, don't freak out. It's a good thing, right? Because you fixed something that was very obvious in your face wrong, and you were able to integrate and start to move forward. And then now something else is giving you the signals like, hey, we're not okay. We need to fix this before we can really fully move forward towards our goals or towards that ultimate outcome, or just can move forward from the chaos of the past, right? So, hello, Kara. Um, so be patient, okay? Things might feel like every time they start to move forward, every time things start to get better, something else pops up, something else throws you off balance. It's not a punishment. It's not even a test like people talk about, tests from the universe. It's really not that. What it is forging you to be stronger, right? Pushing you to be in complete balance. And that way you can create from that balanced state instead of having something from your unconscious or subconscious affecting your creations now because they're not dealt with. Okay. So you might have this back and forth where things start to move forward and then all of a sudden they're on pause, or you take, 5 steps back. But you steady that wobble and then you start to move forward. Maybe something else kind of goes wrong and it takes you back a little bit more. It's just all of these symptoms that were there the whole time, but because you're focusing on the bigger issues and you get those moving ahead, then you're going to have this residual stuff that's still impacting that ultimate goal, that ultimate way forward. So these are like the echoes. Okay. It's not the huge big problem anymore. It's the echoes. It's the subconscious that's finally got this huge thing that was you were consciously aware of moved out of the way. You've dealt with it, you've integrated, it's not in your way anymore. Now you can finally move forward, but now the echoes are coming, right? And now it's like, let's address this echo is taken care of, it's integrated, it's healed, now we can move forward. Oh, maybe another one comes up. Okay, so let's deal with this, but they're smaller issues, they're not as big as the initial one, but you are also still dealing with kind of PTSD, right? Because you're thinking, oh, I just got, that huge thing taken care of. And now this is This is bringing me back to whenever I was in the middle of that fight or flight, when I was dealing with the big things. So now you're expecting it to be something huge. Now you've got the anxiety coming in. Um, Take a breath, take a step back, sit with yourself, okay? Really comfort yourself because that's what you really needed when the big thing was there, but you didn't have it. So be there for yourself, even in the smaller moments, because yes, they may be smaller, but at that time, it still looks like you're facing that giant, like the first one. Okay. So we're just working out the kinks. And, not in a fun way, but still, you're smoothing out the rough edges where you used to get hung up. Yes, it's the way of it. But, you know, once you move through all of these things, especially that residual stuff that's echoing into your daily, right? Your experience, um, they start to get quieter and quieter. They start to get smaller and smaller until everything is smooth sailing, right? But we have to deal with it. We have to face it, no matter how much we don't want to. You can kick and scream and complain the whole way. That's okay. All right. But then shut the fuck up and calm yourself down. Put on your big girl or big boy pants and keep moving forward. But give yourself that time to really feel what you're feeling and then come in as your own best friend or your own, mother, grandmother, father, grandfather, whoever, you identify with as someone who was one of your biggest supporters, and be that for yourself in those moments to really be able to stabilize your own nervous system. And it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it's so easy. It's not. It's painful. It's this unbecoming. You have to peel all of these layers off of you, right? And those are so deeply integrated by now because you've carried them for so long. It's gonna hurt. It's like peeling layers of your skin off. But you're exposing new growth every single time. You're removing the dead, decayed, what no longer serves you, and you're making way for this new growth. So have patience with yourself. It's all about divine timing. Divine timing isn't any set day or time in, human expectations. It's when you are aligned energetically to the outcome or the situation that you want, okay? The energy that you want to experience. So allow this to really open your eyes. Allow this to really unlock those deeply hidden things in your subconscious so you can bring them to light so that they're no longer anchoring you down into the old way of existence. Now you're freeing yourself from them so you can fly high, right? Gave myself the pull up your big girl pants talking to last night. I love it, Susan. It's not an easy thing to do. I get it. But you know what? You have overcome so much and you're so strong and you continue to be your gorgeous, whimsical self. And I just love it. Had a flock of 20 plus crows pass about 2 hours ago. Nice. If it was easy, then everyone would do it for real. And it's not for everyone, right? It's not for the weak. Every single one of you who are here, who are still standing, who are still working on yourselves, who are still sorting through your own bullshit, every single one of you is like the Hulk, okay? You've done the heavy lifting. You're probably tired of it, but you've got the ability to do so if necessary. So, you know, really thank yourself for being so strong, for being able to get you to who you are today and to be able to persevere and continue creating the experience that you want to live, fulfilling your mission, being who you want to be, being in the circumstances that you want to be in, because what you desire also desires you. There's no shame in wanting more. There's no shame in wanting better. There is nothing wrong with wanting to live free in whatever aspect that is for you, in whatever way that means for you, because everyone wants different stuff. Everyone, wants freedom, complete and total freedom, but that looks differently for every single one of us. So free yourself. In order to free yourself, though, you have to do the work. And I know I don't got to tell you guys twice because you've been doing it. But yeah, definitely not for the weak. Narratives. Flip the narrative, okay? Flip it on its fucking head. Keep your thoughts in alignment of your goals. This does not mean to bypass, okay? This does not mean to just completely ignore those thoughts that creep up, the doubt, the fear, the what if it doesn't work out. It's all about processing that, feeling it, but encouraging yourself to keep going because you can do it, because you know you can. And even if you don't know you can, it's in there somewhere. So be your own cheerleader until you believe that you can. But don't dismiss those, the negative thoughts. People are always, the love and light community. Don't entertain the dark and negative thoughts. And it's not that you're entertaining them, it's that you are aware of them. You're validating them for existing. So you're not going to, lie to their face. Think of them as another being, okay? You're not going to lie to their face and say, you don't exist, but you're here with me now and I feel you and I'm just going to ignore you because you don't exist to me. That's not going to make it go away. Yes, I see you. Yes, I hear you. Yes, I understand why you're here. But I also know that it doesn't have to be like this. Okay? You can flip it, flip that narrative. Don't try to ignore, because whatever you're suppressing is going to exacerbate itself until it becomes one of those big problems. And that's what we don't want. So validate it. Be there with the part of you that brought those feelings or those thoughts forward, whether that's a far distant past version of you or last week's version of you. It doesn't matter. Sit with that. Validate that version of you and also validate those emotions or those thoughts, whatever it is that's coming up, because we're not going to invalidate ourselves anymore. We're not going to make us feel like we don't matter to us, because if you can't accept you, even the dark thoughts, even the perceived negative thoughts, then how is anyone else going to accept you? How is your new version of reality going to accept you if you can't even accept those parts of you? Hi, Anna. We love you. So, be there with it, validate it, but then flip it on its fucking head, right? So that's what alchemy is all about. It's about counting every single character, about, I'm hearing standing to be counted. Every sorry, my they're trying to form a cohesive thought. I've got guides in each ear. Stand and be counted, because even if, okay, so take it like this. I know we all did like the sports team picking stuff in high school or elementary school, whatever. Okay. I was chosen last a lot of the time. Okay. So I'm not afraid to admit it. Not a sportsy person. Okay. So I don't blame them. But if you're present, right? If you're present in this group of people, and people, are meant to stand and be counted. If you're standing, but you're not counted, that's going to hurt. You're going to feel invisible. You're going to feel like you don't matter, right? You're going to feel like you're less than human, okay? For lack of a better term. So stand and be counted, even with your thoughts, even with your emotions. Don't just disregard them because maybe they're not, you don't think they're good at the job or the sport or whatever. Okay, I'm trying to put this into relatable terms. You have to validate them. Otherwise, they're going to stick around, but they're going to be even lower frequency than they were before because you're completely trying to ignore them. You're not trying to include them in the whole team, which is you. So, how do you think a low frequency is going to act whenever you ignore it and it falls into a lower frequency, but it still stays within your energy field? It's going to drag you down lower. That's why we validate. That's why we count everything. That's why we sit with everything. Even if it's not aligned to the reality that we want, even if we don't feel that it makes sense or is valid, so to speak, it's valid because it exists and it exists in your energetic field. So, how are you invalidating parts of you because that thought, that emotion, that situation, that whatever is a part of you? Otherwise, it would not exist in your realm. Okay. So, start validating those things. You don't have to entertain the thoughts, the negative thoughts or the negative emotions. You don't have to keep them around and just, sulk in that and keep moving with that in your energy field, because that's not going to do you any good either. But you can see it as a friend who's going through some difficult shit, and you can sit with it. You can validate it. You can say, okay, I see, I'm making the connection. I understand why you're here. I understand where you came from. You matter. You matter to me, and that's why I'm giving you my attention. If you give that energy to a negative emotion, a negative thought, trauma, whatever, you matter because you exist, and I appreciate what you're teaching me. That's going to bring that frequency up higher. So once it's a high enough frequency, you can actually integrate that and, grow faster from it. To be honest, I was always last to be picked, and then teacher would always have to remind the other kids not to be mean to a teammate. Girl, same. Same. I get it, but it sucks. That kind of thing can stick with you. Not being chosen, even for something like an elementary school sport on PE day or whatever, that can stick with you for a very long time. Tucked away in that subconscious, I'm never chosen. People don't see me. People, if they do see me, they don't like me. They don't accept me. They invalidate me. I'm not worthy of existing with everyone else, in the way that they exist because, I'm easily discardable. I'm whatever. Those kinds of things can stick with you. So that would be a wonderful way to really integrate that trauma, because it is a trauma, to really heal and integrate that, because that could definitely be tied to what's going on with something in your current life. So I love the example. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. I wanted to be picked last. Same, Holly. Even when you want to be picked last, it still feels bad when you actually are, because like, yeah, sure, I don't want to involve myself in what's going on, but I would like to be considered, right? So that can still affect you too. But yeah, same. I always wanted to sit in the back of the bus and stuff. And then whenever we learned about like Rosa Parks and all of the segregation and stuff, I was like, dang, but I like sitting in the back of the bus. I hate sitting in the front, in my little kid mind. But I get the whole, how, traumatic and fucked up that the whole thing was with segregation and all that. I'm just saying, in my child brain, I was like, but I would love to sit in the back of the bus. Sorry. Just one of my many quirks. Um, yeah, yeah. I grew up strong and really effed up too, Susan. So I definitely get that. And Lori does too. So yeah, use these experiences as opportunities. Even when you don't really get what you want. Okay. 9 of Cups in the reverse. This is not having your wishes fulfilled. This is, having that goal, but falling short. in whatever aspect that is for you. Not that it's a boundary, this is a blockage. Okay. So how do you free a blockage? You pay attention to it. You sit with it. You figure out what can resolve or dissolve this blockage. So sorry, waters are flowing today. It's been really windy too, so probably allergies. Um, so when something doesn't go the way that we want, obviously there's a blockage, right? Or it's not meant for us, or we're not aligned to the divine timing of it, which is the energy of ourselves and the thing or the situation, whatever. We very much can be our only blockage. Yes, that's true. But we can be our own blockage, right? That's always what it is. In some subconscious or even unconscious way, we can definitely be a blockage to ourselves. We can be aware that we're our own blockage and know exactly why and where it comes from, but never ever deal with it. We just settle for, oh, well, that's too hard. I don't want to deal with that. That's too painful. I don't want to face that. So I'll go ahead and just live this existence blocked from everything that I attempt to do or everything that I want to be or, whatever it is I want to go after, falling short of that. And, that's just how I'm going to go this life, I guess. That's your choice. That's definitely your choice. No judgment, but it's not fun. But you will learn this life or another from the situation. So again, it's all up to you. So if you want to bust through that blockage, if you want to dissolve it, if you want to integrate everything and be able to land on that, that situation or in that experience that you're looking for, or have the support, whether that's friends, family, a lover, a partner, whatever. If you want to ultimately be able to come together with that thing that you want, you're going to have to work on the blockage, what's blocking you. And again, a lot of the times it's something that you're not even consciously aware of. A lot of the times it doesn't even have to be something from this life experience. It's just more compounded issues in this life that are on the bigger issue. That's, another experience that you've had, a past life, so to speak. And if you want to get to the bottom of that and uncover it, I am a hypnotist, so you can book a hypnosis session with me, quantum healing hypnosis session, not QHHT unless you are local. Do you know how they keep the cattle to stay in the fields with low stone walls in Greece? They hobble the front legs together so they can't step up and over the little walls. That's so mean. Aw. So, indecision, confusion, decide what you want and act on it. Indecision is a blockage. Okay. And it could be because you're not confident, because you've made decisions in the past that didn't turn out so well for you. Maybe they even traumatized you. Maybe not the decisions themselves, but your decisions may have, put you in situations that were traumatic for you. And so a lot of the times as humans, we'll be like, okay, well, I made a lot of bad decisions in the past that really hurt me, that really traumatized me, that got me into situations where it was painful. So I don't want to do that again. So I'm just not going to make any decisions. You can't do that. You're making decisions all day, every day. So, you need to learn to trust yourself with the bigger decisions. Trust that yes, you may have chosen some experiences or made some decisions that kind of led you unwittingly into experiences that did end up hurting you, that did end up traumatizing you, but you gained wisdom from it. You gained experience from it. It was something that was covering up, another issue from way back in another life or way back in this life. So being decisive about, I want to heal me so that I can make the healthiest decisions for myself and those who are connected to me. You are the light, you are the awareness, you are the consciousness, you are the creator. You get to create what you want, but you can only create what you want after you weed out all of the things that are causing you to make decisions unconsciously that are causing that pattern of trauma or of fear or of pain or whatever it was to continue playing out in your life. So you have to be the courageous one. You have to be the one that's there for you to help yourself to course correct. Every single version of you, past, present, and future versions of you, you have to be that support. And when you look at it from a much higher perspective, we've talked about this before, we can say, oh, we're all connected. I am you, you are me, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We kind of get that somewhat on a conscious level, but why are you in my experience? Why am I in yours? Because I represent something within you that is within your vibrational frequency, within your auric field, that is ever present within you. So I am part of you, just like you represent for me something that is ever present in my own field. We are all fractals of the same source. We're all the same energy, the same consciousness is running through me as it is through you. It's only expressed in different ways. I'm a sign for you, you're a sign for me. Showing each other what we truly hold within, whether that's something that needs to be let go of or integrated or brought to the forefront. But every single thing, even the spiders in your sink and bathtub, are you showing up in your reality as a sign. You are your sign. That spider is you. 444. I love it. Thank you, Suzanne. So are you going to do something with it? Are you going to integrate that into your conscious awareness so you can be more purposeful, more decisive? You can take actions aligned to your own highest good because now you have that broader awareness. Now you see, oh, spiders in my tub and sink. Abundance, infinity. That's the infinite version of me. That's a sign to me, reminding me of my infinite existence. So for you, you have millions, trillions, countless, we'll say countless timelines that are available to you. We call them parallel realities, right? So there's a version of you that is experiencing the worst of the worst. There's a version of you that's experiencing the best of the best. There's a poor version. There's a rich version. There's, this version of you that's surrounded by loving, amazing, supportive family, friends, soul tribe, whoever. And then there's a version of you that doesn't have that. So all of these versions of you exist. You just have to tap into the energy of the version of you that you want to experience. Embody that, become it, feel it energetically through every cell in your body. And manifestation, you shift timelines. We're constantly shifting timelines all day, every day. Love being unpopular because I'm real and as authentic as I can be. What would make you think you're unpopular? That's the deeper question. If that's something that's being reflected to you, what part of you feels unpopular? What part of you feels unseen? unheard or thought of as other, outsider. That's something that would be really helpful. Um, but always be authentic, because your true tribe is going to gravitate to you because you're being authentic, you're being yourself, you're being in that frequency. You're not attracting, you know, these false beings that are not fully aligned to who you truly are. You're not emitting that um, inauthentic frequency. So, as you emit your authentic frequency, yes, there might be times where you feel very much unpopular or alone or secluded or, you know, name it, insert it here. But it's also a way for you to weed out the garden, those that don't belong and those that do. It's happening naturally, effortlessly. You don't have to lift a finger. So it may suck. It may, feel like you're unpopular, but that's not the truth of it. Okay. It's not that you're unpopular. It's that you are integrating more authentic versions of yourself every single day, all day, every day. And you're bringing these fragments of yourself that have been scattered along the way. And once you are able to fully, not fully, because, it's going to happen at any time, but once you start to integrate these parts of you, your frequency is expressed and projected much louder, much stronger, right? And a lot of times people don't understand this about the healing process is whenever you are still very much in the thick of it, whenever you're still trying to find all of these pieces of yourself and bring them back to the whole, your signal, your authentic signal is much weaker in that state. And it's by design because, solitude, being alone to really pick up those pieces and integrate and do that deep work. Um, but your signal isn't broadcasting as strong as it would if you had really worked through a lot of that and integrated more and things like that. And I'm not saying you're not doing the work. I'm not saying that you're falling short or anything like that, because that's not the truth. We all know how much work you've done, Matt. But yeah, it's just that you are clearing out kind of the gunk that really impacts that signal being able to be broadcast out. So as you strengthen yourself through this process, your signal gets stronger. And, that's when you can really start making an impact and really drawing those to you that are meant to be with you. Yeah, it's, you get used to it and it gets comfortable. Because every fragment that you pull back and you integrate, it makes you feel stronger in your own authenticity. It causes you to be more confident in who you truly are. And the more you step into that confidence, the more you broadcast that strong signal, the more that, people are going to recognize it. Your true people are always going to recognize that. But, if it's not loud enough for folks, if you still need to go through some stuff and your soul is still saying, hey, we need to kind of be on our own here and really work on ourselves and integrate and get to the bottom and do the shadow work and do this soul development, then you need to focus that energy inward on yourself. You can't be broadcasting it out and really interacting with other energies that might um, really impede the work that you're doing. So because it is very sacred, very deep work. So I love that it's not bothering you, that you're really getting comfortable in existing in your own frequency. So awesome, Matt. Um, we have the star card. Once you can refine your frequency, become more decisive in what it is that you really want by experiencing a lot of the stuff that you don't want. Okay. That's just kind of how it works on this plane. Once you refine that signal, once you start really broadcasting your true authentic frequency, that's when you start really causing things to gravitate to you, because you are the gravitational pull. Okay. You're no longer wobbling. You're no longer, signal shorting out and kind of all over the place. You're streamlining things. You're really bringing your power into yourself, and then from there, now you're broadcasting it out instead of trying to, send it here, there, and everywhere, to those that may or may not be aligned to you, whether that's people or anything else, situations, other kinds of beings in existence. Third star card today. I love it. Never allow bad company twice. I love that, Matt, because you know your worth. And you wouldn't really know your worth had you not done so much work. So I really love that for you. Um, So now that your signal is more streamlined, it's more strengthened, you start really visualizing, you start really becoming, not just visualizing, because not everyone is good at visualizing, okay? Um, but you have other ways of perceiving things around you. Embody, because I know every single one of you, whoever is watching this, you identify as empathic, okay, as an empath. So you can assume someone else's frequency by default or consciously. Okay. It's just, it comes along with the territory. It can be a blessing and a curse, but start focusing on the version of you that is living the life that you want, or that has the things that you want, or is experiencing the things that you want to experience, and start empathically taking on that frequency, embodying it in that way. It's a hack. And it's because this is one of your gifts. This is what you're meant to do. So it's part of your purpose. So not just visualization. If you can't visualize, don't worry about that. Take another avenue. If you can hear things, start, you're really tapping into that reality and hearing it, right? If you feel things, take it on in that way. If you are claircognizant, you just know things, tap into that and know that that's who you are. Okay. It doesn't have to look like any one specific way, because we are all vastly different. Yes, we're all fragments of source, but we come along with our own quirks and niches and our own authentic energy, right? We're one of the many cells in the whole greater body of the multiverse. So it's going to look different for you than it's going to look for me, than it's going to look for Matt, Susan, Holly, Suzanne, Anna, whoever. Okay. Um, so really start to focus your power in on yourself. Stop worrying about what could go wrong. Stop fearing, expanding past that comfort zone. Stop allowing those negative thoughts to run you. And the way that you do that, like we talked about earlier, is, entertain that thought, sit with it. Where did you come from? Why are you here? What are you feeling? Really sit with it like one on one, like you would do a best friend. Okay. Because it's part of you, it's a version of you, it's something that's part of you. So be your own best friend. Sit with it, sit with the emotion, the thought, whatever. Don't try to ignore it. Don't try to suppress it. I mean, you can, that's your call. Okay. But it's going to get bigger. It's going to fester. It's going to become exacerbated so much that you can no longer ignore it. And at the time that it does that, it's a much bigger problem than just kind of sitting with it and having a little discussion with this feeling, thought, whatever, and resolving it right there. Right. Don't allow these things to cause you to depend on, and this codependence can be not just with people. Okay. This can be on situations. We can become codependent on our suffering. Crazy as it sounds, people do become codependent on their suffering. If they're not suffering for some reason or another, if they don't have anything to complain about, then they're worried about, when's the other shoe going to drop? When is something bad going to happen? When is, there going to be something that I have to complain about, or something that I have to feel pain about? So I know it's easier said than done, but confronting these things, really sitting down with and understanding them and integrating them, is really the only way to get through. Same road, different exits. Exactly. So fixed emotions, feelings, and expectations. When an emotion is fixed, it's immovable, right? It's there, it's stuck. You're not going to move it. The way that you do that is you sit with it, you address it, you feel it, because emotions are energy in motion. You have to keep it in motion and get it the fuck out of your space, right? Only way you're going to do that is acknowledge that it even exists. Because if you're not even acknowledging that it even exists, then you're avoiding the issue, you're avoiding the problem, you're not addressing the elephant in the room. Okay, so don't become so codependent on your fears, on your worry that things are going to go wrong, or the other shoe's going to drop, or someone's going to come in and make fun of your skirt that day, or whatever. I don't know what happened to you in elementary school. I didn't wear skirts personally. So I don't know, just offhand something. Because codependency on these negative things, or on the fact that negative things have happened to you for a lot of your life and still do, and it's just continuing to play out, and you're not entertaining anything outside of that, you're not integrating those things because they're too painful. But it's painful to sit with a room full of your unexpressed emotions, okay, which causes you to not come together, not assume the frequency that you want, assume the life that you want to live, the experiences that you want to have. The Lover's card in the reverse is things aren't going right. Things are not coming together. I'm not getting, what it is that I want, or I can't make a decision, because the Lover's card can also talk about making decisions. And when it's in the upright, it's, making a decision that brings you closer to what it is you want, that aligns you, that causes the two to become one. But if you are stuck in that indecision, things are going to backfire. Things are not going to align for you because you haven't decided what you want. With the universe, with law of attraction as it is here in this current existence, you have to decide on what you want. If you don't decide on what you want, it's deciding that you don't want anything. Okay, so you want the universe to work for you, but you got to work with the universe in the way that this universe works. So we have soulmate right next to that codependence, life partner, soul contract. Yes, this can talk about using your partner as a crutch, but in this context, not so much. I did have to mention it because it did kind of come up here. But when I pulled this card, whenever I was pulling all the cards and it came out, I saw that it was right next to that codependence card. And I was like, what's this about? A soulmate, you cannot exist with a soulmate in a way of, in the energy of codependence, without that situation, that relationship completely falling apart. We have many soulmates. Soulmates, not just your romantic interest, the one that you're meant to be with for the rest of your life and in this life and every other life. That's not how it works. Soulmates are souls whom you are very familiar with on, the other side of things, that you have experienced many lives with, that you have agreed to come into this life to learn lessons from one another. It's not the end all be all of relationships. They can be friends, they can be family members, they can be, partners, lovers. But once you are entering a codependent relationship with that soulmate, that's lesson territory. That's that soulmate showing you, hey, you can't form codependent bonds and still expect yourself to manifest healthy things for yourself. You cannot expect yourself to make healthy decisions for yourself if you're so codependent on something outside of you, on a person outside of you, because then you're allowing them to make the decisions and you're the indecisive one. So you're not getting anything that you want. You're just kind of manifesting by default at this point. And, it can definitely make parts of you feel better, that, oh, I don't have to make decisions because now I've got this person that's, my soulmate, that's going to make all the decisions for me, and I'll just kind of go with the flow. That's not the way it's meant to be either. You are a sovereign being and you need to operate like that, even in some kind of a close relationship. So, moving out of that insanity loop, all right, repeating past mistakes. And we all get caught in these loops, these energy patterns that continue to play out the same way in different circumstances and different experiences every single time. This is you becoming aware, becoming more decisive on the direction that you want to go, moving from those turbulent waters to calmer shores. This is, leaving the past disappointments, traumas, pains, all of that behind you. Not that you're, separating yourself from them, but that you've integrated them and you've been able to calm your own waters and you're able to navigate them with ease moving forward. Whereas that insanity loop kept you in, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse energy. This is not receiving what it is that you need, what it is that you desire. This is being very ungrounded. This is, really like manifesting negative things by default. And by negative, I just mean the things that, you don't want. And whenever you're indecisive, if you're not decisive on the things that you do want, a lot of the things that you don't want are going to start to manifest because you haven't made a decision. You haven't, selected an energy to align to that causes you to attract the things that are aligned to that specific energy. So you're just shorting out left and right. So getting out of that insanity loop, out of those codependent patterns, becoming decisive, that's what turns things around. Okay. That's what causes you to be completely balanced and grounded, rooted in who it is that you are, and aligning yourself to everything that is aligned to who you choose that you are. Okay. And you can choose to be a different person every day. That's fine. Perfect it and be someone different every day. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. All of the seeds that you've tried to sow when you're in that loop of, that pattern of codependence or lack of decisiveness, you may be trying to plant seeds along the way, but you're not aligning to any one specific energy. So it's like they don't have fertilizer to grow. They're just going to be duds. And I know a lot of you gardeners know what dud seeds are. And it's frustrating. And, it really impacts your yield. If you get a lot of seeds that has tons of duds in it, you may only get just a couple of plants. That's not going to sustain you year round. We're talking about if you were dependent on your crops for your own survival and being able to eat. So you're going to have a lot of duds. You're not fertilizing them. You're not aligning with the energy of the crop that you want. So you're just kind of willy-nilly throwing shit around. It could be seeds, it could be beads. We don't know because we're not even paying attention. We're just letting, whoever or whatever make the decisions for us. We're not saying, oh, I'm going to do a line of peas. I'm going to do a line of green beans. I'm going to do a line of corn. I'm going to do a line of whatever. You're just kind of, oh, beads or seeds. I don't know. We'll see what fucking happens though. We'll see if I get to eat next year. No one would do that. No experienced gardener would do that. Okay. So becoming more decisive, getting off of that fucking carousel, that endless circle around the same pattern, the same, frequencies. You're really starting to hone in on your frequency because you're starting to heal those things, those unconscious parts of you that are still impacting you today. That, little elementary school version of you that didn't get picked for the team or got your skirt or your shoes made fun of or whatever happened to you. Okay. It matters. It matters so much because it mattered to you at that age or back in that time, whatever time that was. It mattered so deeply to you that even if you tried to forget it and smooth things over and just shove it off, off to the side, it still follows you. So that version of you that, was made fun of or not picked, not chosen for something, or that didn't get the attention and the nurturing that you needed from your parents, that version of you is still walking around. It's your shadow. You can't get rid of it. You need to sit with it. You need to comfort it. You need to validate it. You need to integrate it so that it can stop getting in your way Okay. Once you integrate it, it's a part of you fully. It's no longer going to be following you around, freaking you out, popping out of corners. Happiness is freedom from fear. And what did we talk about? Freeing yourself from fear, freeing yourself from worry, freeing yourself from, you know, blinding yourself to what truly is going on in your inner ecosystem. Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So, happiness is freedom from fear. You need to free yourself from those things that bind you, from those past versions of you that didn't get the healing and the attention that they needed, that are still impacting your decisions and your energy that you embody every single day. This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to integrate those things, to really, become the energy of the version of you that you want to live. You get to select what timeline you want to live on, moment to moment, all day, every day. We're choosing whether that's by default or conscious decisions. Okay. So select that version of you that lives in that timeline where you have the life that you want, and embody that energy. Use your empathic gift to, empath that energy of that version of you who um, maybe they experienced the traumas you have, maybe they didn't. Maybe they experienced them and they healed them and integrated them, and then they created better for themselves. Whatever your story is, align to that energy, embody the energy of that version of you on whatever timeline it's on. Soaked up so much sun, I may soon be known as Maddie. That's funny. You're brown? Oh, good. I'm glad the palo helped your sunburn. Oh, that's awesome, Matt. Thank you. Okay. Sexual energy, it's that sacral energy. All right. The sacral is tied to the root. So once you repair the root, just like we talked about last week with the rotting root system, right? Once we get to the rot and we get that rot out of there and we nourish those roots, they can form a deeper, more vast system and become so deeply rooted that now the plant is starting to become stronger. It's absorbing more nutrients. It's growing bigger and more beautiful than ever because you got to the root of it. And the root is right next to that sacral. So moving on from the root last week, getting that root rot out, now it's embodying that sexual energy, that creation energy within you. And, self-love right behind that. So love yourself enough to align to your passions, to align to your creativity, to believe that you deserve to live the life as the version of you that has all that in the first place. Okay. Even the little 6-year-old version of you that felt unwanted, not chosen, that's how you get, that's how you work through it. That's how you integrate. That's how you get to the root. That's how you uncover the rot. Okay. So do that. Ancient wisdom, it's within you. You've been gathering wisdom this entire time, your whole life, and every other life you've experienced, every other timeline you've experienced. You hold that wisdom within you. It's difficult for us as humans that are so focused with our energy on the 3D realm to be able to kind of reach those parts of ourselves. And if you need to go on a journey, then go on a journey. And I got a text from my mechanic just now. So we're almost done. I can get to him in a minute. So get to the bottom of it, get the rot out, and then move on to the next, and that's creation. Once you get that rot out, once you nourish it, once you really heal it, intensive care if needed, okay? Once you do that, then your root system is firmly established, it's healed, it's back stronger than ever before. Move on to the creation, move on to the embodiment of, move on to tapping into the parts of you that maybe you don't really tap into that often because you're so 3D focused right now. And that's everyone. We're all in this realm. We have to exist here. In order to exist here, we have to focus on it, right? So use this time of solitude where you are, really kind of forced at times to lean on yourself, where you don't have a lot of external support, where you don't have, you know, another person to even bounce ideas off of or to help to guide you. We have to guide ourselves sometimes, and we're going through it in the dark, blind and bound at the hands, and we just kind of have to follow our intuition and move towards what it is that we want, even if it's one tiny little baby step at a time. Okay. New beginnings. It's all about clearing that rot, getting into that creative energy, tap into the void. The void is not scary, it's your divine feminine. That is the source of all creation. That is where everything and nothing exists all at the same time. You choose what to bring through the void. Okay, so there are some things you need to let go of, letting go. And right behind that, we have the death card. So, what is dead and gone? Validate it. Have a little funeral for it, even if it's in your mind. Okay, whatever brings you closure on a cycle, on a behavior, on decisions that you've made in the past, on experiences, traumas that you've had, whatever it is, validate them, sit with them, love that version of you, sit there with that version of you like you would your own best friend, and don't let that part of you sit by themselves anymore. Okay? Don't let that version of you feel so completely unsupported, because the version of you now knows how to support, knows how to nurture, knows how to love. So go back for the other parts of you, grab them by the hand and bring them into your present. Integrate. It doesn't mean you have to keep them with all their problems. Just being validated, just being seen and chosen is enough for them to let go of all of that pain that they were holding on to. Um, it's time to move forward. Spread your wings, spread your branches. You're a tree, but you're a walking tree, so you're much cooler. Keep moving, looking for that water source, looking for that nourishment. That's what walking trees do. They continue to spread their roots forward. They're above ground, so kind of look above and below, but really cool. Be the groovy walking tree, okay? Keep searching for more nourishment. Keep searching for what sustains you, and don't stay complacent. You have to keep moving. Masculine energy, speaking of keeping moving forward momentum, okay? Masculine energy is the drive that causes us to take action. It's the action itself. It's making sure also that everyone else is okay, not just the people outside of you, but every other version of yourself is okay. You can't move forward without making sure that all of you is encompassed in this group and moving forward together. So go back and really embrace those other versions of you, even the ones that you're not so proud of for whatever reason. That version of you still had that experience. They were brave enough to experience that, whether it was positive or negative. Okay. They were brave enough to experience that. They shouldn't be discarded right after they experienced that, even if they chose it for themselves. Right? That version of you deserves your love just as much as the version of you that's made the best decision that you've ever made. Okay. It's all about perception. Light and the dark, positive, negative. In this realm of existence, you cannot exist without both. So it's both the venom that can kill you, and it is the antidote that can save you. Okay. It's all about how you use it. You have to alchemize it in order to use it as the healing component that it is. It's dangerous, it's scary, it's beautiful all at the same time. Have you ever noticed how some of the most beautiful creatures on this plane are also the most lethal? Out of all the plant and animal species, there are such gorgeous specimens that are also highly dangerous and that can end your life. It's all about the perspective. You can see them in all of their beauty. You can use the venom as something that unalives you, or you can use it as something that helps you to survive, that helps you to live, that saves your life, that nourishes you in all of the ways that you need nourished at that time when you're in your most probably devastating experience. Because I couldn't imagine. My side quest story here. My mom had a boyfriend who loved snakes, and he would go and capture snakes out in the woods and stuff, and a lot of the snakes that he brought home were rattlesnakes. And it wasn't it's something that like CPS should have definitely been called, right? He's carrying wild rattlesnakes around the house, letting us kids pet them. But it helped me not have a fear of things like that. um, but one of the most beautiful and very dangerous species. Yes, Steph, and don't forget it. So, but that same boyfriend also eventually was bitten on the finger by a rattlesnake and his finger shriveled up. He almost died in the process, but it was like a huge, long recovery process. So don't be stupid with the venom, okay? Be smart about it. Integrate it, alchemize in the ways that you can for your highest good, but don't allow that poison to take you out, all right, or shrivel up your finger. Those are so difficult to heal and love, most difficult so far integrating, but wow, so grateful to love these aspects too. Yes, Susan. And it's something that you don't really recognize until you actually move through it either. Like, it's really scary at first. You're like, oh, I don't want to see that version of me, because that's terrifying, or I'm not proud of it, or that was like the worst of the worst I've ever been. It's still you, and it still got you to who you are today. It brought you to the knowledge and awareness that you have now. So it was useful. I caught that, Matt. I knew it was supposed to be overnight, but it did say lover night. Inner space and universal knowledge. Yes. This is cleansing that inner space, the far reaches of your psyche, your subconscious, the unconscious, bringing things to conscious, bringing things to light, because light is consciousness, right? So don't be afraid of those dark parts of you, because the darkness is just what's not come to light. It's just not been integrated into the conscious awareness. So these shadow aspects, these dark aspects of you, they're just aspects of you that didn't know any better, that weren't enlightened to the fact that things are different, or things could be different, or they can make different choices, or they can learn new things, right? So really go within, integrate those shadow aspects of you, because again, they're not working against you. They're not trying to plot for your downfall. They're present because you just haven't looked at them. You haven't shed your light, your conscious awareness onto them. So once you sit with them, validate them, and integrate them, they become a more cohesive part of you. Okay. They're still part of you, even whenever they're external to you, still in your field, but you haven't chosen to bring them in. Right. So they're all you, whether or not you choose to integrate or not. But if they're on the inside, they're going to be working for your, I'm not going to say betterment or highest good, because on the outside they are as well, but it's like they're working with you because they're in on the plan, right? They're not working against you to get in, or get attention. And like an unruly teenager, right? They know that they're seen, they know that they're validated, they know that they're loved and accepted for who and what they are. So they become part of you, and they become, part of your team, working for your common goal in a cohesive way. So divine timing, again, we got divine timing, baby. It's all about your alignment to the energy, the frequency of what it is that you want to experience, or what it is you're meant to experience. Divine timing isn't about the clock or the calendar. Divine timing is about you, the energy that you possess, that you project. Okay, 2222, love it. So again, it's all about divine timing, and divine timing could be today, tomorrow, next year, right now, 10 years from now. It's all about how you choose to embody the energy. If you want to embody the energy of someone who is fully healed, that has everything they want, everything that goes their way, then stop getting in your own way. Embody every aspect of you and form a cohesive team that works together towards the common goal instead of, fighting back and forth and short circuiting and manifesting by default. Okay. Truth with the eagle. I saw an eagle. It actually, yes. Okay. It's whenever my car was broke down on the side of the road and I was waiting for my mechanic, Andy, to try to fix the problem, try to get my car to start, running again. And there was a bald eagle we were like a block over from the river. So it was flying above the river. It was just soaring and it was beautiful. I could see the white on its tail and the white on its head. And I was just standing there in awe. Every time I see something like that, I'm always in awe because nature, amazing. Um, but again, tied to the car, the car problem, it signifies freedom, truth. Truth is freedom. Okay. Whenever you're fed lies and you're made to believe those, that's not freedom. That's manipulation. So the truth is coming out. The truth will set you free, so to speak, right? So divine timing, it's all about your timing. It's all about your consciousness. It's all about integrating everything that you've learned, everything that you've experienced, and stop shunning these parts of you. If you want to be fully accepted for who you truly are, then you have to accept these pieces of you for who they truly are, because they are all pieces of the puzzle that makes up you. So accept them, love them, understand them, know that they did what they did, they made the decisions they made, or had the experiences that they had. You're free to walk home. No, I still got a ride, but yeah, love it, stuff. Thanks. And yeah, I don't remember what I was saying before that because squirrel brain. So yes, integrate, accept all of these versions of you, because when you feel seen and heard, it's comforting. When you feel like you're being ignored and forgotten or pushed out, it doesn't feel good, right? So love and accept you, because you can't expect anyone or anything else, even the timeline that you wish to experience, to accept you into it if you're not accepting of all versions of yourself. So I love you guys. That is the message. Long one, as usual. Hour and a half. It looks like that's just what we're doing. So going to get Annie and Ellie to walk to the park for ice cream. Yum. Bribes to get them into the sun and grass. There was one flying outside my window yesterday evening. Oh wow, that's awesome. An eagle in Portland. I love that. Ooh. Grounding. That's a good card for you right now, Susan. As I was reading that comment, grounding flew out. No one has ever put this into perspective like this for me before. Thank you. You're welcome, Lori. I'm so glad. Hopefully this helps everyone at least a little bit. If not, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. Now I got to get back to my mechanic because now that's in the forefront and I can't think of anything else that I wanted to say before. Thank you, Steph, for joining us, even if it was at the end. I mean, I kind of reiterated everything that went over the whole hour and a half at the end. So, you got the message, just a less long-winded version. Thank you. I love you, Anna. I love you, Susan. Love you, Holly. Enjoy the rest of your day out on the golf cart, soaking up some sun. Don't worry, next year you'll be able to play again. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Take care of yourselves, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah. Bye.